Oh, hi everyone. Welcome to this particular monthly meetup from D365 Champs, and we are here for the next exciting meetup from the May of 2024 here. There was the shift of changing in order to accommodate the timings. Usually, we used to do the timings of in the sessions on a Saturday of every month on 11:30 a.m. IST to 12:30 p.m. IST. But now, just for a small change, we have shifted. The timings for this particular session. Yes, we are trying out how it going to execute. So for this particular meetup, we are going to execute from this new time zone. So thanks for being here. And just I will give you an introduction about the Diversify Champs and the power of this particular community. So this Diversify Champs community has been started in 2018. By a group of five people who are techie enthusiasts, and what they have identified in the especially in the southern part of Asia, there was no community that is present which are giving more insights about the Microsoft Dynamics CRM and its related things like the Power Platform and all. So there, it started from 2018 with a few members, and now in 2019, 2020, it has been expanded to the multiple areas which started from Singapore. Now we are at the India, US, and we have all the participants who are joining out from the many locations and also across the globe. Now, if you observe in 2024 and the way forward, we are especially doing the empower program at the colleges, going from the champs community. The people are going and representing the champs and empowering the students in order to bridge the gap between the industry and the students. So that was the main theme that we have in the 2024. And as well as we would our theme for this entire year was in order to bring um, new people to the community, sharing a stage for them so that they can share their knowledge. That was the second point that we are trying to do it. And the third one is just we would like to give our continuous efforts to make the knowledge that spread across the uh, length and breadth of it. Okay. So with that, just I would like to introduce Mahdyar, and so he was an actually he is acting as an solution architect. And over to you, Mahdir, and you can floor is yours. You can share your introduction and you can go on. Okay, thanks.
Thank you so much, Venkata. Can you hear me? Okay, great.
Yep.
Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this session. I'm happy to be here. Thanks, Venkata and Dynamics 365 Champs for providing this opportunity for me to talk about this. Um, is my screen sharing or I
Yes,
have
yes.
shared and you can see, right?
Yep.
Okay, great. So my name is Mahdia. It's around, let's say, 24 years that I'm in the software industry. I have started as a .NET developer and then switched to SharePoint and Dynamics CRM area since 2009. So it's around 14 years that I'm working in Dynamics CRM. Nowadays, customer engagement, focusing on the sales and customer service apps, and also um, with the new year's in the Power Platform. I'm passionate about design and architecture of business applications, and today I also would like to share something in that area. Um, let's talk about the agenda. At first, I will um, go a little deeper on the topic itself. Then I will show you an example of a problem statement of a company, a fictional company, and then we can take a look at how we used to go with the classic mindset to uh, resolve that problem. And then I will share with you how we can go or what kind of change we need for the modern mindset. And I will share with you a demo. Then at the end, I will share my final thoughts. And finally, if you have any questions, um, yeah, you are very welcome to ask at the end of the meeting. So, the topic today is be a workplace hero. And I would like to explain what does it mean and what I meant actually. Who is a hero in a workplace? In the recent years that we are facing with many changes in companies and in businesses, um, the winners should be the ones or are the ones that can align themselves with the amounts of changes with the quickly and fast. It means whoever that can bring value to a company or to the workplace with less amount of work. This part is very important. Can be a hero. It can be whether lead to reducing cost or increasing revenue, which sometimes we are working in a place that we are not directly, let's say, connected to the cost or to reducing cost or increasing revenue. But on the other hand, we are always able to increase productivity, and that finally will lead to reducing cost or even increasing revenue. So when I talk about being a hero in a workplace, I'm talking about this. The question is how, which has the answer, which is not new. Digitalization. It's for many years that companies are going into the digitalization, and it's not a new topic. What is new, on the other hand, is that who can contribute on implementation of digitalized solutions. That's the topic of today. In the past, it was only possible by the developers, the professional developers, who can only implement something as a software. But nowadays, whether you are a technical person, which is not a developer, for example, an IT admin or a person in the IT industry, but it is not necessarily a developer, or even a person who is definitely a non-technical person. All of you can be that hero that I'm talking about. So the target audience, briefly, or to summarize, I can say everyone can be the hero in workplace in this aspect. Now let's take a look at this example. We have one fictional company called Biscuitech Recruiters. And yeah, their job is to find right people for the job offers that their clients introduce them. So they find the right person, then they earn money. At the moment, they have these problems. Their recruiters are maintaining many Excel files, and uh, this can lead to many problems. First of all, these Excel files, everyone has their own structure, and it's not easy whenever a person leaves the company to find out what has happened so far. Also, they have this issue of communicating job offer details with candidates repeatedly. For every job offer, they need to do it. Also, another problem is to monitor the application states, job application states. What happened so far? It's not easy to track that. They need to frequently switch between emails and Excel files, which is not easy. And it's, of course, inefficient. And at the end, the last one is about when their current situation or their current communication with the clients is via emails. So with the whenever they receive emails from their clients, it's someone should forward the emails to the right recruiter, which applies this which is related to this job offer, and they should work on it. To summarize, I can say they need to increase productivity in their company. In the software industry, when we see something like that, the first thing that came to our mind is to provide an MVP, which means a minimum viable product with the least amount of work. We need to provide something to show them this is what you can do, and then we can share with the stakeholders of the company what are in our mind and whether we are in the same page or not. So for this problem, let's say we want to have one recruiter system, which recruiters would be the users, and then it has an integration with an email server, which will support the current way of communication with their clients. And also, moreover, it is connected to a web portal which it can serve candidates to see the job offers and the information. In that way, by using the recruiter system, recruiters will not use or will not need to use their Excel files anymore and switching back to the email inboxes. We can resolve that issue this way. Also, for the case of repeatedly sending or communicating with candidates, they can easily ask the candidates to check the web portal instead of sending them lots of emails. So, having that simple architecture in mind, let's take a look at these user stories. In the portal side, let's say the candidates need to see a list of job offers that published recently, and also they need to be able to apply for a job, or it would be nice for them to be able to monitor their application status. On the other hand, on the recruiter system, the recruiter needs to view only job offers that's relevant to them, be able to search, share job offers with their colleagues, and also they would be happy if the system will help them reduce the amount of repetitive sending offers. And at the end, having alerts when a job application requires a kind of follow-up, that would be great for them. So in the classic approach, when we face these kinds of user stories, the point is that at the first stage, we are not able to think about the user story itself. Whenever we want to think about the user story, lots of other things come to our mind. For example, authentication. Who will be the user of our system, and how can we be sure that we could check the right user is using our system? Then when we are sure about that, how can we be sure that right information is being shown to the right people? Authorization. Then we have auditing. It's always a topic that who did what in the system. It's a very important topic that maybe at the first stage of the application it is not important, but later it will it should be considered. Also search, notification. These are the part of the current requirement, of course, but most of the time it happens that we have some user stories that search and notification are not included, but of course later we need to provide them. And this list continues. Nowadays we need to leverage AI, reporting, localization, and the rest. There are lots of other aspects that we need to think about, we need to consider whenever we want to produce an application, whenever we want to produce a system. And of course, these will um, increase the amount of time we need to produce the job. So it will make it longer for a project to be finished. And of course, it will lead to increasing the cost. Besides that, we need lots of skills and knowledge to do that. And uh, it's another way of increasing the cost of the project because we need special people which are not um, cheap to work with. And uh, all of them lead us to the situation that these are against doing more with less. The topic that at the start of this meeting I talked about. So nowadays, the context I'm talking about is Microsoft. With Microsoft technologies, we have Power Platform on top of Azure infrastructure, which includes many different resources and components that can take care of these different aspects. And we don't need to think about them, at least when we want to start the project, and we don't need to implement them from scratch. We have them. These are the components that we can just configure and use them. So in the modern approach, what we need to do when we have a user story, we can, a lot easier than before, we can focus on only the user story in itself. And that way we can produce something a lot easier, faster with and a little or a lot more cheaper. Um, Here I would like to show you a demo what I had done before. You can see what an advanced Power Platform user can do just within 2 days to resolve this problem. Let me start from scratch. Okay. Here we have Coho Winery Company, which is one of the clients of Biscuitech recruiters, and they used to send emails whenever they had a new job offers. And now Thomas, as an employee of Coho Winery, is sending an email. As you can see, he's sending the email. It has an attachment, which is the job offer information. Then later we have Miriam, who is logged into the recruiter system, which is generated based on Dataverse and Power Apps. At the left side, you can see accounts, contacts, job offers, job applications, which are the most important components of this application, or let's say the most important tables and data part of this application. Miriam is working on the system, and in the background, when we received the email from Thomas, we can see that um, when we received the email from Thomas, a Power Automate flow processed the email and created a job offer in the system and also notified Miriam about this new job offer. Now she is able to open the job and see what happened. The email address, the email that we received is in the timeline. So here we have the job offer, and we can see the Power Automate leveraged AI Builder, and it could fetch the information, extract the information out of this job offer. As you can see, title, description, and budget range are extracted from the PDF file. And we have provided a note in the timeline to mention to Miriam that she needs to check, she needs to double check this information because it happened by AI, and she needs to review this information before publish this job offer to the portal. So she's able to open the um, attachment, take a look at it. She's able to download it and compare the information. And whenever she feels confident about this job offer, she can easily click on this button, which has been created by leveraging PowerFX. And yeah, with leveraging Dataverse, she just click on this button, and then that's it. That's the only thing she needs to do in order to publish this job offer to the portal. Now she just needs to look for the people, look for the right candidates to apply for this job. And in this scenario, she could find Sina Akbari, and she could talk to him and ask him to register in the portal and apply for the job with ID 10,021. So now Sina opens the portal, which is um, powered by Power Pages. He is able to take a look at the job offers, browse them, find the job that Miriam mentioned. As he registered to the portal, he is able to sign in. And then finally, he is able to apply for the job. Now he just needs to fill in the information, and also he's able to tell us if he wants to be notified by email or not. Then he submits his job application. Now Miriam is working in her dashboard. In this dashboard, we provide the information that she needs to take a look at them. For example, what phone calls she needs to do today, or what are the applications waiting for her review. And as you can see, this time, as she is in the um, dashboard, she can see this newest job application that was done by Sina. Together with that, she is receiving the notification as well, because sometimes she might not be in the dashboard and she might working in another place in the application. So now she opens the job application. She take a look at the uh, Sina's CV, and it looks fine. So she is confident that he might be a winner for this job offer. So she start the job process for this application. She just clicks on the submit to customer. That's it. Then we have again Power Automate, who will take care of the communications. As um, as Sina wanted to be notified, we have one email which is sent to Sina about this application that is uh, uh, now under review. And also, this application is sent to Thomas, which is the client, and they are waiting for some applicants. So Miriam, this way, Miriam doesn't need to take care of these email communication directly, and these are happening by the system. To make it as a summary, let's say all these applications will continue. Um, Thomas will take a look at this application and then tell Miriam that they want to go on with this applicant. In the job process, now we have some other buttons based on the status of the job application. She can approve for interview. And then again, as Sina is waiting for notifications, we will notify him. And also they will have some, of course, this process will happen maybe in some weeks or months, but at the end, Thomas will come back to say that, okay, we could have some interviews and we want to go on with him. All of them are happening as email communication. And as Thomas is replying to the emails from the system, all of them are tracked automatically in the timeline of the job application. And so whoever opens the job application will see all that happened in this application. Now we see at the end that Miriam clicked on the close as successful. We will send an email to Sina. And beside that, he is also able to take a look at this status of his application in portal. That was all. That was all of these topics, these user stories that we could resolve. But beside that, Microsoft has recently provided Copilot for business applications. At the moment, it is in a kind of primitive state. That's the reason I didn't go deep to this part, but I asked Miriam to just ask one simple question from Copilot. Who was the most communicated contact in our system? Bingo, he could find Thomas Anderson. That was all. We could see this system based on the components of Power Platform. And now I'm confident that I can tell you about these components here. It's easier to talk about them. Um, First of all, whatever you saw now was created on this level. me turn it on. Yeah. Whatever you saw happened in this level. In this level that every developer is able to do something. So by having the knowledge of Power Platform, which includes these, I have just leveraged some parts of these components, not all of them. And you could see how much powerful you can be by having the knowledge of these components. And that way you can be the workplace hero by creating these kinds of applications. Whether you are a non-technical person, or even if you are a professional developer, it is better to start from this part in order to provide something as soon as possible. But um, yeah, um, it is possible to create something as soon as possible, but of course, you can do your magics by leveraging the components in this area, which needs more skills, more knowledge, and you are great at it. You can do it, but whenever you are able to do something here and you have not yet reached to the limitations of these components, you can be faster here and you can be the hero that I was mentioning at the start of this presentation. Okay, um, last but not least, what I would like to talk about, um, if you take a look at these pictures here, they all have, let's say, different places, different situations, different architectures, but all of them have something in common: lack of design, which is the danger of power platform solutions. Um, what I would like to mention, when you learn Power Platform, or if you have the knowledge of it, and it's easy to start to produce something, it doesn't necessarily mean that you don't need the design. It can happen. The pictures I show here can happen easily in the software industry as well, whenever we skip the design part. That was what I wanted to mention, and that's all. Thank you so much for listening and joining this meeting. So if you have any questions, I would be happy to talk about it. Okay, Venkata, I'm
Yeah.
finished.
Okay. Thanks, Mahdyar. So there are a lot to learn about your session. Especially there are a number of questions for me. Okay. So maybe I'll start those questions after hearing it from the audience. If they have any questions, right, they can ask.
Okay.
So the audience, you can unmute your mic and you can directly ask the questions, because I don't see any questions in the chat window. I know that you are fully involved in the session that has been shared, but I know that if you have any questions, you can ask that.
After you, Venkata.
Okay. Right, Madhya. So you said about like the classic approach and the modern approach, right? So what does that you recommend from your implementation wise? Okay, just let us stick to this slide, whatever the session that you has given. So what is that you worked on, the modern one or the classic approach that you followed to this implementation?
Um, to this implementation, let's say, um, what I wanted to focus was that we don't need, we just need to focus on the user story at first, not the non-functional aspects that we need finally to take care of. So the first thing that we need to think about is the data model of the application, which, let's say, for me to in order to provide this whole application, it took more time to design whatever I want to provide. Then implementing it inside the system was easier and was even faster. So what I wanted to mention today was we still need the design, but we don't need to think about many other aspects which are not relevant or which are not requested as the functional requirement of the system.
Okay. So just
Could I answer your question?
yes, yes, you are. So just you are saying that for designing for data modeling, especially you need to spend more time rather than directly going into the implementation. That's what you say. Okay. So related to this question only, like there are few customers who wanted to digitize their implementations from another platform to the dynamic CRM. So what they will be doing it, right, they will try to see, okay, these particular entities that are present, I want these entities to be saved in the dataverse, so that from my website whatever that is present, the data needs to be synced. Okay, so they will come up with all the UI UX, and they will come up with the data model. But so in this context, right, the expectation as per the user stories and the sprint, as they don't know about much about the CRM, what they will be doing, right? Just will see, they will concentrate on the UI UX part of it, and also this one. So how will you correlate? Example, right? So in this situation, how you will educate a new customer or the new people who don't know about the CRM, how you can cope with them, because they can readily use few of the out of boxing. Example, now you might have used that opportunity of like won and lost by sending the email and all. You could have just customized it, that one, the label changes. So what is that your take on that?
First of all, in your example, you mean this customer is not yet convinced to use Power Platform, or they have they want to use Power Platform, but they don't know where to start.
Correct.
The second one.
Yes, second one. They are not sure about when they don't know about Power Platform Dynamics CRM, but they got some insights saying that Dynamics 365 CRM and Power Platform can help their business for an better productivity, better engagement with the people, and better number of features, cost effective also.
In that case, the first question I would have is how they want to proceed. I mean, do they want to have some kind of internal team of developments, or they want to completely delegate it outside? It happened some weeks ago with a company that we were talking about, and they didn't announce at the first that what they want, or they prefer to have these kinds of fusion development or not. And they just talked about their problems. And I was talking about the solution and how we can proceed and these kinds of stuff. And then I realized, and at that time, I was thinking about preparing it completely internally in our uh, I'm working in a partner, so I could bring it as a new project. But then I realized they want to do something inside as well. Then it will have a big change because we need to make them. available. We need to onboard them for these kinds of projects. And of course, we need someone to take care of the design, the solution architecture. It is very important. Solution architect is a very important role in these kinds of projects. And yeah, first of all, training is needed. It depends on the situation. Maybe they have some trained people, then the, the topic would be changed. When we have the team, based on the team, we can define what should we do. And if you are looking for the design of the system, then it's hard to answer right now. It depends on the situation.
Okay. Yeah, I got you. So, any questions from the audience?
Mehdar, actually, uh, I saw one very good thing over here, or on your screen. On a buttons, you had a kind of created a process stages. So just wanted to understand how that was achieved, because when you clicked on it, it showed me as a ticked that this particular stage or this particular automation is completed. So I'm just curious, like how and what exactly you used for that.
Um, it is what I mentioned is the modern commands that recently provided in Power Apps. And when you are using these kinds of command buttons, um, you can let's say leverage PowerFX formulas to check to uh, for these buttons, for example, I have used the patch function of PowerFX to patch the to update the record. And if you are asking for that specific button, which
Yeah.
opens a kind of drop down, we have
Yes.
one specific modern button to handle that as well. In my demo, I showed you in the job offer itself, we had only one button. It because it
Right.
was easy to publish to the portal. It's one kind of buttons I have used, and there is another one which is a kind of drop down, and you can add more buttons in behind, which are related together. These are all possible by the modern commands.
Okay. Great.
And you can leverage
Mm.
PowerFX. You might
Okay.
not need to for the showing them or hiding them. I have used PowerFX as well. As you could see, sometimes at the first stage, closing as successful was not possible because it was not yet approved. Maybe she wanted to reject it. So these
Yeah.
buttons were shown based on the status reason of the job application, which is possible by PowerFX.
Okay. Great. That sounds good to me.
Thanks, Vivek. Thanks for your question. I'm also very much keen to know about that. Glad that you asked that question to Mahdyar. Yeah, it is an good power of using the PowerFX commands nowadays. Okay. Any other questions from the audience before we keep a pause for this session?
One more question, like how much percentage of co-pilot things can be, or rather say, demonstrated or can be uh, used into our demos or say in our apps? What is your take on this? Because what I understood, the Copilot for sales or CE is having a limitations in terms of its capabilities as of now. So Microsoft is investing a huge in that. Other than that, when we looked at it to Business Central, it has more capabilities that it can go and perform crude operations as well using a Copilot. As of now, I might be wrong that crude operations are not available into sales, 65 sales or CE.
Uh, First of all, I personally have not yet used it in sales or customer service to see if it has some kinds of differences between the out of the box Power Platform part or not, or are the same. I don't know about it. I have used it in Power Platform as I used it here. I tried to ask some questions. It is, you know, at the moment, it is not that much smart that we expect. We are into ChatGPT and these kinds of stuff that can ask some real world questions. But when you ask questions from this copilot, you don't feel that much smartness that you are looking for. But from my point of view, it's just a start. And I can easily imagine in the first quarter of 25, it would be a very uh, bigger one, and it can help a lot. You can ask some many questions, and at the moment, it is possible as well. I could ask, for example, which job applications were successful, or then later I can ask, give me the job applications that I have to focus on today. So these kinds of stuff that, of course, we can expect to ask later, but not at the moment.
Okay, thank you.
And I am not sure about the applications, the D365 applications at the moment. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. No, actually, in Business Central, there is a capability that even if you write something to Copilot that create an order for XYZ customer with these items, it automatically goes and creates the order, adds the items, adds the quantity, and everything gets prepared. So it's kind of that kind of intelligence they have brought to Copilot, but that is
Um,
not there in C.
I didn't try that part, but at least for the read part, it is possible.
Mhm.
It can show you the information, the question I asked in this demo. It can show me the link to Thomas record, and I can
Mhm.
open Thomas record. But to be honest, I didn't try to do the crowd create or delete. So I cannot answer this question whether it is
Yeah.
possible or not. I should
No,
check.
no, no. It is there in BC, Business Central. It is in CE. Even I have not seen. And when I asked the question
Okay,
to
okay. So you
Microsoft,
know
they
better.
said it's it will be
Good
there.
to know.
Still will be there.
Good to know. But we can imagine it will be a lot different just less than 1 year later.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions from audience? Okay. So just last question, Mahdyar, before doing that. So, okay, you imagine that you did the implementation with all the power fx commands, um, and you created all these buttons and all. So generally in the classic way of doing it, we will use the ribbon workbench to uh, migrate that separate solution from the dev environment to test and to the higher environments. So how is that you will manage if you are going to use this modern way of using the controls?
Uh, I'm not sure if I get your question. Of what kind of
Okay,
you
okay, right, right. So you said that modern commands you have used it, right? For buttons. Okay. For migrating those changes from dev environment to the testing environment, what is the approach that you have followed? It is the just a solution approach of moving it, the managed solution from dev to the test, or is there any other specific thing that we have to consider?
first of all, I am not yet confident with the the anatomy of these modern commands is that it is different because it will leverage the um, what it is called component library of uh, Power Platform
Power apps
component
components.
framework.
Okay.
So um, and it has some bugs at the moment. I could see those bugs. That's the reason I say I am not confident because, for example, it is using data sources in the
Mhm.
background, And if you update your data, first
Mhm.
of all, you need to go and refresh your data sources in that component library, but it didn't work always for me. So
Okay. Mhm.
it is something we need to take care of. But yeah, if we are talking about migrating the current commands, which are, let's say, old, we have some old ones, we need to create a new one. So
Mhm.
the old one, even for the old ones provided by Microsoft, you are not able to work with them in modern commands. You need to create a new one out of them and then apply these new features. So if you want to convert whatever you have, then you need to create them again. But of course, you can do it with PowerFX, which is a lot handier and easier to do. But before that, you need to take care of the limitations. So everything we have in PowerFX is not supported yet in the commands, in modern commands. So you need to take care of that. You need to see if all of them are possible or not. And also, it is possible to use JavaScripts as well with modern commands. So
Yeah.
if you face some kinds of limitations, it is also possible that way.
Okay. Okay, thanks, Marjan. I think I got the next continuity session topic for you. So we'll talk on that in the coming days. So that I got the few messages from the respective the people who joined here. So they would like to hear more about in depth about a few of the concepts that you have discussed. So yep, I will reach out to you. Thanks everyone. Thanks
Thank
for
you so much.
joining this your busy schedule on Saturday, and I hope you got something that as a taken away that you learned something new and you can try it out with respect to the data modeling. To summarize few of the things, like you can go for the modern approach and you have to start any project by taking into the consideration the data modeling first. So UX design should be present and the modeling should be present. Based upon these two, then we have to go for the architecturing, solution architecturing, and then you have to go for what are the things that you are going to do. So don't directly go into the implementation. First, just concentrate on these things and spend some time, and then do the implementation, which will help to scale your application in a right way. Okay. Thanks everyone. Thanks for joining here. And thanks Marjan for taking your time. I know you are joining from outside Asia, so thanks for it. Appreciate your community community help that you are doing it by spreading the awareness with your knowledge. Thanks,
Thank you
everyone.
so much. Thank you so much for having me. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you, Mahdyar. Bye.